Hello and welcome to the Sauce Podcast. I'm Lauren Healey and we're chatting all things St. Louis hospitality. Today I'm here with Todd Hotaling. He's with LHM. And Todd, can you just give our listeners a little bit of rundown of what all LHM is involved with here in St. Louis?
Well, thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here. So, LHM, we are a hospitality company, and our main kind of business is hotels. And so we have 20 hotels and just St. Louis. So we
Wow.
are in just the St. Louis community. And, our big kind of flagship hotels will be the Union Station Hotel, Hilton Ballpark, the Sheraton's out at Westport. And then, we have a big chunk of hotels at the airport and then out at Westport. And close to you guys here, we have the Cheshire is our little boutique hotel
That's
there by
right.
Forest Park. And beyond that, we have 10 restaurants
Wow.
and growing. And then we have all these attractions at Union Station, which we just opened 3 new ones.
Yeah.
So,
You guys are
definitely
killing
growing.
it.
Yeah.
Well, can we start with Westport Plaza? Because I feel like that development is just blowing up here lately.
Yeah, that's super exciting out
Yeah.
there. That's another example of, similar to Union Station where there was this rich history in St. Louis for this location. And a lot of people in the 80s and 90s were like, oh, I love that place, or I used to party there, or I used to go, eat there. And with anything, the trend dies down and
Sure.
it needs to be reinvented. And then when we purchased it back in 2015, that was our goal. We had a multi-phase approach, and we knew that ultimately that location and that structure, those amenities there, that we could really develop something that's popular and can be successful. And, it's a good addition to that area out there in Maryland Heights.
It's always packed every time I go. So I like to get there a little early in the evening.
Yeah, we love that. We just opened Basso. So Basso
Yeah.
opened this year, and that is a sister restaurant to the one over at the Cheshire. And that has been doing very well, really great feedback, and just a good reiteration of that concept and the menu that
Oh,
we have over here. But prior to that was 360 Westport, and it's just such a great addition to the landscape, in not only in that area but in St. Louis, because you can't go and get this rooftop view and vibe anywhere
no.
else, and especially anywhere out in the county, right? I mean, obviously we have the 360 downtown, which
Right.
is an attraction landmark in itself for
Definitely.
folks to come and experience downtown. But everything we've got going on there, and we're not done. That's the crazy thing. We got a
Yeah.
couple more things, but before 360 Westport, we opened Westport Social,
Right.
which for St. Louis was the first of its kind restaurant bar that has all these games to play
Yeah.
and
So
really
fun.
yeah, and it's been a huge success for groups and parties to come because in our industry, people want to do stuff. They don't want to
Yeah.
just come and like drink and stare at each other.
Right.
They can do that in the office, right?
Sure.
Well, whatever. Maybe I guess they can't
Maybe
drink, but
minus the drink.
yeah. But so that's been becoming very popular, and then we have live music on the weekends, and honestly, when we opened 360 Westport a year ago, I thought, oh, Westport Social is going to kind of die down a little bit. I'm going to have to come up with some new creative things to get that place going. And actually, that location got even busier
There's
with
a
the opening.
demand for
Yeah,
both.
yeah, there really is, and it's a totally different experience, right?
Yeah.
And you can go to 360 and have just a really nice, elegant, kind of uplifted, upscale menu meal with on a date or with a group of friends, and then or you can go to Westport Social and pound a couple beers and watch some sports and some chicken wings and call it a day.
But the cocktails there are so good too.
Yeah, they've done a really good job with that cocktail program. They got those frozen cocktails there as well,
Yeah.
which are delightful and a really great, just bar rotation as far as the beer selection goes and everything. So it's a fun environment, and most people don't realize that it's got 2 karaoke rooms too. It's got
I didn't realize that.
up on the second floor, overlooking the stage and the main room there. There's 2 karaoke rooms that you can
Really?
rent out. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's good to
See up there.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that I'll be singing because that's not really my forte,
But
but
that's the point of karaoke. Like, you don't need to sing. So
maybe after a couple cocktails.
that's exactly what you need to do. Absolutely.
And I think part of the reason why you're so successful out there is not only are the spaces super nice and
Mhm.
luxe, the food and drinks are really good too. So how are you doing it all?
Yeah, well, we have a great team of people,
Yeah.
and the O'Loughlin family who owns LHM, the president Steve, and then the CEO, his dad Bob. They do things right. They build things right. So they
Yeah.
built Westport Social right. They built 360 right. They built Basso right, and they've built these assets to the community. They've set them up right. And then it's Blaze, who's our director of restaurant and development there. He works with the chefs to come up with that menu and make sure that it's approachable but great.
Yeah.
And it's done really well, because you're right, like, we can build a really pretty, beautiful restaurant, but if the menu and the service isn't there, it's not gonna
Yeah.
sustain.
But you guys are killing it on all aspects. So I
Yeah,
love
well,
that.
thank you. Yeah, we
Yeah.
love hearing that, and we obviously wanna continue to improve and do better, every year, year over year,
I
so.
love that.
Mhm.
Now, so Basso's an Italian restaurant. Now, the
Mhm.
original one is there in the basement at the Cheshire, correct?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
you've got a
Yeah.
second one. And didn't you do quite an extensive renovation there with like that courtyard area there at
Yeah,
Westport
that's right,
Plaza?
Lauren. Yeah, so there were originally buildings right there, and we said,
Right.
hey, we want to create this entertainment district,
Yeah.
where with dining and bars and things to do. And so we knocked down all these buildings and created this big open space. We call it the Plaza, so it's Westport Plaza, and we brought back some of the traditional events that Westport was seeing, like parties in the plaza. So
Yeah.
so they have free concerts every like third Thursday and during the summer. There's a free concert out there, and that started to really take off on its own. But it also provides just really good walkability between the restaurants and bars.
Yeah.
So hey, let's go have a really great dinner at Basso, and then after Basso, let's go grab a beer at Trainwreck and catch whatever band they got going on. And
Right.
and there's a lot of those. What we're trying to do is almost create that Nashville vibe where,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's go grab a drink here with your friends. Okay, that was good. Let's go check this out. And there's a band playing over here, and then okay, that was fun. Let's go over to Westport Social and catch that band or a game to watch, and then so just different options for everybody, just so it's not a it's like a whole district versus just one stop.
Yeah. And I love that there's plenty of parking and it's
Yeah,
all
yep,
free.
all
You never
free.
have to
Yeah,
worry
which
about that.
that's a big St. Louis
And
thing, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
really love the Funny Bone too. I think
Yeah.
that's so fun
Yeah.
to get dinner, hit a
Yep.
comedy show, maybe go get a drink at a couple of the spots
Yeah, and they've been
afterwards.
there for almost, I mean, they've been there since day one, and they bring in some good acts.
They
They
really
bring some
do.
good acts, and what else is great is you have the diversity of menus there. So you have
Yeah,
Kobe Steakhouse, you have Drunken
exactly.
Fish, and then actually we are opening another restaurant. Fuzzies had closed. It's replacing Fuzzies. It's another kind of Mexican, like
Ooh,
taco focused restaurant.
that
So
sounds like something I need to write about.
yeah, we'd love
Okay,
to. We get some information over to you on
okay,
that
very cool.
once we get that all secured and set up. But it's just continuing. It's just continuing to do the things that we know make sense in the industry. But then also, if they don't make sense, well, we got to pivot and
Right.
kind of adjust and do something different. But yeah, it's really becoming super popular there, and the feedback's been great, and we're really
Yeah,
excited for
I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
I go out there with friends often, and you
Yeah.
can hit a lot of spots in one night. Nobody has to drive. Grab
Right.
an Uber home if you have a couple of
Yeah, or hey,
drinks.
get a hotel room. I mean,
Or, oh,
those are our
yes.
2 Sheratons right there, and
Yeah.
and they just renovated as well, so they're really doing well, and just gorgeous properties and just additional amenities for that whole entertainment complex there.
Yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
Okay, well, let's bring it to downtown St. Louis.
Okay.
Can we talk about Union Station?
Yeah, that's a big project too,
Yeah,
you
give us a
know?
little bit of the history of that, like the area,
Yeah.
and then when you took it over.
Okay, so, I mean, Union Station, it's a historical icon for St. Louis. It's been here for over 130 years. It was built in the 1890s and played a huge role in the World's Fair,
And wasn't it once the busiest train station in the
Yeah.
country?
Yeah, it
I
really
think that's
was.
so cool.
Which right here in St. Louis, right? You would
Yeah,
have thought that was the case. You
yeah.
think, oh, New York or maybe even, West Coast San Francisco.
Gateway to the
But
West.
we were the largest train station at that time, and we were basically the central stop for anybody going out west, anybody going to the East Coast, and that's what I love about that place is you walk in there and you feel that magic of travel,
Yeah,
right? That
it's cool.
nostalgia of getting on the trains right there. We do a lot of events, what we call the Midway area. That's the platform that guests would get on and get off the trains, and you could just feel that vibe of just that the energy of greeting a loved one that you hadn't seen in months,
Yeah.
or saying bye to somebody, and that is, there's so many historic kind of elements throughout Union Station that appeal to me, just as a traveler and part of that industry. But it's just you can't find stuff like that anywhere else. And
Yeah.
and you have the gorgeous Grand Hall there.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that. I mean, there's really nothing like that throughout the country,
Yeah.
and nobody's building anything like that.
Certainly not. It's
No.
too costly.
Yeah, and that's just a gorge. I mean, 60-foot ceilings,
Yeah.
and we have the light show that we put on there
Uh-huh.
throughout, and we have different shows that air there. But that's another popular event destination, and folks really, that thing's booked up almost every Saturday throughout the year, whether it's a wedding or some type of gala or fundraiser. It's a hot spot.
You got to book in advance.
You got to book way in advance.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
I know you've had the Ferris wheel there for a little
Yeah.
while
Yep.
or several years, but
Yeah.
you just added 3 new rides, right?
That's right. So we opened the wheel and the aquarium and a couple of the smaller attractions there in 2019.
Okay.
So we opened all that in 2019, and then obviously COVID hit and we had to close for a little bit, and we reopened, and really been kind of going on. And with any attraction, you want to, it kind of, it'll wear out after a couple years. So you have to reintroduce new things. Either it's if it's the aquarium, it's maybe new animals or a new exhibit, and we knew we had this additional space there, and that by the wheel area that we're like, hey, we can put additional rides in. And so
Yeah.
we've been pursuing that for a little bit, and it came down to like, what rides do we put there?
Yeah.
Because there's obviously a million different options of things you could use. And so we had some folks travel the entire world and come up with like, hey, these are what's popular. This is what's families and folks are wanting to do when they go somewhere,
Yeah.
and it's a great addition to everything else we have going on there. So yeah, it's a swing set that takes you up into the air and swings you around. It's a pirate ship that swings back and forth, and it's a mini roller coaster that it spins on its own and swings around there.
And you've
So
got some carnival games as well, right?
yeah, the carnival games are fun.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can the kids love that stuff,
They really do.
and you get whatever, you pop the balloon or toss the ball and knock over
Uh-huh.
the cans, and you get this huge plush animal that takes its own car seat up on the ride home, and there's really just nothing better than being out there and hearing the squeals of kids and the excitement of parents, seeing their kids have fun. And it's really remarkable what we've been able to build there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's become a Midwest destination.
Certainly.
And when we first opened, it was, mostly local people coming down and
Right.
experiencing it. And now it's majority out of towners, and which is interesting because we still have a local audience that's never been down there, or hasn't been down there since it was a mall, and
Really?
yeah,
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah.
Well, I gotta plug the giant koi fish pond. Bring quarters if you're bringing kids, because my
Yeah.
son just loves to feed those
Yeah.
fish.
We it's very interactive, right?
Yeah.
And we applaud our partners like the Magic House and Science Museum, where they offer very hands-on experiences for guests, and the aquarium is the most interactive aquarium in the country.
It's so much
Yeah,
fun. I love every time I
yeah.
go.
And the koi fish outside there around the pond, I mean, that's
Uh-huh.
an easy thing. Just you could just go walk around Union Station and be part of the, historical landmark that it is,
Yeah.
and enjoy some of those, easy activities. But yeah, you venture inside, and we have the aquarium there, which is, home to over 13,000 animals, and you could put your hands in the water and touch some jellyfish
They're
or
slimy.
stingrays. Yeah. So it's a unique experience, and the goal with that, the mission with the aquarium is that, hey, you're going to go in and going to have a really fun time. You're going to get your hands wet, and like, oops, you learned something.
Yeah.
You walk away with this educational value that you probably aren't going to get many other places here
Right.
in the Midwest, considering, we're landlocked, we're not on the ocean,
Sure.
but really how we connect, how folks connect here in St. Louis and in Missouri uh, to the waterways of the world, and that was always been the mission, and that's really the educational background push there, and we're excited for that, and we continue to look at different ways to add elements to the aquarium to make it fun and some seasonality stuff. So we got
Yeah.
some stuff coming up during the holidays, like scuba diving with
With
Santa Claus.
Santa.
Yep,
So
yeah. So he'll be
fun.
down there, and that's really another magical moment for kids because they can ask him questions via the mic, and then he
Uh-huh.
can respond back, and so that's really fun and a unique experience that you're not finding many other places.
And now a word from our sponsor, LHM, which has several amazing properties around town, including Westport Plaza and Union Station. Union Station just debuted 3 new rides, which are perfect for a fun family outing. They also just launched their Pirates and Pumpkins event at the aquarium, which is so fun to bring your kids to, and that'll be running now until November 2nd. Yeah, I love it down there. Now
Yeah.
you've got several really great restaurants on site there at Union Station. Can you
Yeah.
run us through
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, so Soda Fountain,
Right.
home of the Freak Shakes and burgers and fries, and then we have the Train Shed restaurant right across the way there, and so kind of extensive cocktail menu there, and really great lunch and dinner options, and then we have the Pitch. So we opened the Pitch the same time as the city soccer stadium opened,
Okay, yeah, that's right.
and it's obviously very busy during the soccer games and has its own little audience throughout. So it's got fun kind of living room ass seating that they have in front of a TV that you can control and watch whatever sport game you want to watch. Is we have everything that you didn't even know that was a sport. We have that there.
You've
You
got
can
that
go,
too.
yeah, you can go watch that, and that's been a great addition down to that landscape. And Landry's is still there, and they're doing very well. And then we have, inside we have, in addition to the train shed, we have our hotel restaurant, the Station Grill, which has its whole other history chapter
Oh,
in history as well. With kind of it was one of the first restaurants that they started adding to train stations,
nice.
and Fred Harvey did it, and he had a network of restaurants along the routes, and he was actually the first owner of a restaurant to make it to allow female servers.
Wow.
I know it's a
That's
whole nother
crazy.
that's a whole nother
Yeah.
chapter, but it's just, I mean, that kind of history just lives throughout Union Station, and it's just you go down there and you're making memories, and we've had over a century of making memories there, and we hope to have another century of making new memories there for folks and family.
It's really nice to
Yeah.
see that doing well.
Yeah.
And now I know LHM goes big for the holidays.
Oh yeah, we got it all, right? So um we have so three of our restaurants are doing, the pop-up
Yeah.
trend, and the Train Shed has been doing it for some time now, and it's a very, very successful, very popular called the Sleigh Shed,
Yes.
and they go all out
It does not get
decorating
more
it.
festive than that.
Yeah, they go all out, and it's so exciting to see people, like, they dress up in their holiday attire and go down there with a group of girls or group of friends, and enjoy our, kind of our unique cocktail menu there that we
Yeah.
do for that. And
Really good stuff
yeah,
too.
and they just rolled that out, or they're finalizing that menu now, and so we're ready to kind of start talking about that soon. And that's been very popular, and it's usually kind of a slower time of the year, for
Okay.
restaurants
Yeah.
and everything,
Mhm.
but
Not
that's
for
really
you.
energized it down there at Union Station, and beyond the restaurant. I mean, the whole place is decorated for the
Yeah.
holidays. And part of that is we put on this train experience called the Polar Express.
Which is a must for every family with
Yes.
small children.
Yes, if you have small children, or your niece, nephew, or any relative of yours has small children, get that on the list,
You have
because
to.
the magic of that on the kids' face is you can't replicate
They
that
get to meet
anywhere. They
Santa.
get to
Santa gives
meet,
them a
yeah,
bell
the real
and a
Santa.
cookie.
Yeah, the real Santa comes on the train car there,
It's so cute.
gives them the gift of Christmas, and it's a magical train experience, and we've been doing that since 2014, and every year it's becoming bigger and bigger, and we've
Yeah.
added some new cars this year to it to kind
Oh,
of and some maybe some more it's more affordable some more affordable ticket
okay.
options for
That's good.
folks too, and just to ensure that everybody can experience that during the holidays. It's
Yeah.
a lot. It's so much cheer. It's
And
just a
not
lot of
just
cheer.
Santa, but it's like you're really on the Polar Express. I mean, the
You are.
actors you have are so good. They're dancing and
Hey,
singing.
you're going to the North Pole. You're buying a
Yeah.
ticket to the North Pole. We're going to
It's
take you there, and
it's cool.
and it is neat, and the actors really do it well.
They're
Yeah,
nailing it.
yeah,
What are they like drama students from high schools? I feel like they're
yeah.
young.
They really are.
Okay.
A lot of them, yeah, like they're Muni kids, so they're part of
Okay.
the Muni organization, and they come and yeah, they do extremely great job. They really sell it. And yeah, but you get your cookie, your hot chocolate, and then you get these kids that are just in awe of the
Yeah.
situation because they got to talk to Santa Claus.
My son's already talking about it and like, when's Christmas? When do we get to go
Yeah,
on the train ride?
yeah,
So,
that's great. I love that.
yeah, it's a big deal.
And there's different types of cars. There's a dining car that you could
Mhm.
go and sit at. There's a coach car. There's a premium luxury car that has glass ceilings, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
a different kind of
Really
higher end
nice.
experience. And obviously we have all the rides around it going on, so you can make a long weekend out of it, a week of
Yeah.
it, and there's plenty of things to do around it. But it's the holidays are very big down at Union Station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but 360, both locations do a really
Yeah.
cool up on the rooftop
Yep.
holiday pop up. Tell
Yeah.
us about
So
those.
so we have 360 downtown and then 360 Westport, and both locations will do a up on the rooftop themed pop up. And so yeah, as you can imagine, like big
Yeah.
decorations and just a really it's just a really fun environment to go to with your friends and get your
Yeah.
pictures and try some of these unique cocktails that we'll put out there during that time with the different glassware and
Yeah.
everything. My favorite was like this huge glass of like a moose. It was the glass that
Oh, from Christmas
from Christmas
Vacation? Yeah.
Vacation, that was, there's just fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what a great excuse to get together, with friends and family and bring them down and experience that. And 360 is great either location. Downtown, you're going to get the skyline of downtown. You're going to get beautiful views of the Arch and the riverfront there and Busch Stadium, and you're kind of part of that mix.
Yeah.
And so if you got in-laws coming in and you want to impress them, that is the spot. And 360 Westport offers great views too of
Very
just
much
that
so.
area, and obviously you're not going to get views up that high, 20 stories up, anywhere else around there in the
Yeah,
county.
for sure. Now,
Mhm.
are those for adults only at 360?
Yeah, both 360s are
Okay.
21 and up, and typically it's about a 4 p.m. Start time there
Okay.
to about 1
Gotcha.
a.m. depending
Okay.
on the hours. But check out those websites and
Cool.
see what they got.
So excited for the holidays.
Yeah, and I mean, and then you have a lot of holiday parties, so people book their holiday
Oh,
parties up there,
yes.
either for
Okay.
their office or just for
Smart.
their family, and so we're able to kind of, okay, this is your area, and do different menu options for them. So it's a fun experience for everybody that attends, and of course we have the hotels, right?
Right.
So Hilton Ballpark downtown, can accommodate, hundreds of guests, if needed, and 360 Westport with the Sheratons right there can do the same, and actually 360 Westport is twice the size of the one downtown.
I know. It's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, it's
And
big.
it's so opulent. I love it.
Yeah, it's just a different, it's very kind of upscale from what's around it and anything else that's offered around there. And so it's definitely a great spot to check out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's obviously been a big couple of years for LHM. Can you give
Yeah.
us a little preview of what's coming up in 2026?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's exciting, right? It's exciting to be a part of the organization because, I never get bored.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
always something new going on, always something that we can try to reinvent and do better at. But, next year we have a couple more restaurants that we're considering at Westport. So we have some open space to
Yeah.
to develop something and look at something. So we're evaluating different concepts. We're traveling around the country, seeing what other people are doing, what's working, what's not working, and really try to find something at Westport that adds to the overall
Yeah.
menu of options that we have. So, we have Italian, we have Japanese, we have really great cuisine across the board. Like, what's going to add to that environment, um, while not necessarily taking away from what's there. So, we've thrown around a couple concepts. We've thrown around like maybe a country bar, like a country whiskey
Oh,
bar would
that'll
be
go
a
over
lot of
really
fun.
well.
And so St. Louis, that's the thing. Like, you look at something like the aquarium. Like, St. Louis didn't have an aquarium.
Yeah, and we
You
need
know,
something like
you
that.
need something like
We
that.
really
And so if
do.
you look at the landscape of St. Louis, like, what are we missing? And like, well, I think and we have a couple small, kind of country-esque bars, but we don't have something of scale that we could accommodate groups and really
Yeah.
the popularity of country music. So hopefully we can get some things together for that and build
Cool.
that out. But that would be one option. And then, I mean, who knows what else is out there? We
Okay.
talked about, obviously the games and the entertainment value of Westward Social is very popular. It
Yeah.
hasn't lost any popularity since it
No.
opened. And so, do we do a similar concept like that? Like maybe miniature bowling or something like
Oh, that
that.
would be
So
fun.
so it's just we gotta test these things out and see what could work, what the popularity could be for it, and
Mhm.
and talk to the community, right? Talk
Yeah.
to people and folks that have really good reputations in that field and can help us be successful in that. So it's a good experience for anybody that attends.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Union Station will most likely have a new train event.
Oh,
We
oh,
we
yes.
it's like it's kind of a secret. We can't talk about it
I
yet, but we
but
should be able to
I know, and
announce
I'm
it
really
soon.
excited about it.
Yes, you know about it.
It's just
Yes, because you figured it out. Yeah, you filled in the blank.
I did.
Yeah, but
Everyone's gonna love it if it
yeah, but
works
I
out.
think, what I can say is that it will be the first of its kind in the country.
Oh, yeah.
And there might be a couple other markets that have it, but St. Louis will be one of the few markets that provides it, and it'll be extremely popular for obviously local folks here, and then a lot of people from coming in from out of
Oh,
town to
people will
attend
be
it.
coming
So
from out of town.
we're very excited for that to hit during the summertime
Okay.
downtown and just kind of propel that location even more,
That's
because
gonna be
we'd love to
cool.
be doing train events all year.
Yeah.
We have 7 of our own rail cars that we
Right.
purchased,
Yeah.
when we took over Union Station. It's just like a lot of, other than Polar Express, they sit there for the most part. We do have some customers that will book an event on them, and we take them out and back, but they just, we'd love to be doing more kind of large scale events like Polar Express down there. And so this kind of opens the door for that and a little bit additional programming throughout the year.
It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, it'll be big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's learn a little more about you. What do you like to do for fun?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I love being outdoors. I love
Okay.
camping. My boys are in their teens, preteens, and so all the sports, all the activities. So they're the priority, and making sure that they're having a good time and learning and getting the skills they need to develop their character. But a lot of out time, a lot of outdoors time, a lot of camping and
Okay.
and stuff,
That's fun.
fishing, traveling. Love to travel. Like, you
Nice.
gotta
Have
travel.
you been anywhere cool lately?
Yeah, I had a wonderful trip up to Minneapolis the other
Oh,
weekend,
nice.
and that is such a fun city and a really great city. And done several other trips throughout the year. Michigan, Florida. I gotta figure out a ski trip here soon.
Oh, Colorado.
Yeah,
Okay.
Colorado. I gotta probably start stretching to snowboard again. I haven't
Oh,
snowboarded in
oof.
about a
Be
year, so.
careful.
Yeah. So, back, the days where you would snowboard all day, are kind of like gone, right? It's like you snowboard for a couple hours and you and the guys are like, all right, that's
It
it. We're
hurts.
good.
I'm
Let's
too
go.
old for
Yeah,
that.
let's go start our happy hour at noon,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to doing one of those trips pretty soon here in
Okay.
February.
And then when you're not eating at your own restaurants, anywhere in particular you like to go?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, St. Louis is such a great city for food.
Yeah.
And I tell people this all the time, and I love Kansas City. I lived in Kansas City for several years, and they have good food as well,
Uh-huh.
but like you could almost knock it out in a weekend.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in St. Louis, and I still haven't knocked out all the St. Louis
There's so many good
spots.
places.
Yeah, obviously, Olive and Oak is popular. I just had dinner there
Oh,
on
yeah.
Monday, which was a really great dinner. But um, I mean, there's just so many good spots. I mean, Love, Mississippi is high on the list for
Mm-hmm.
me. Throughout, and closer to home, maybe Twisted Tree is obviously an
Oh,
easy,
they're
easy,
killing
easy
it.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they do really well. But you can't go wrong with heading down to the hill or
certainly.
finding some of these spots. I'm a huge fan of Gramophone. Like I'm a
Oh,
kind of a
nice.
sandwich snob, and
They do it right.
they do it really well. I think I it's a hard question to
I
answer
know.
because there's so many good spots, and I don't ever wouldn't say that something's not great in St. Louis. I mean, there's so many good places to go
Definitely.
to.
Okay. Well, is there anything
Yeah.
else you want to add?
Well, thanks for having us on,
Yeah, of course.
I think it's important that, people understand that, what's behind all of our assets and outlets is a family-owned company that's dedicated to St. Louis,
Yeah.
that, they're going to do right by St. Louis and continue to keep their assets within St. Louis and do everything we can so they're successful and that our guests are happy. And obviously I'm blessed to be a part of that company, and happy to be here to talk about it.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
guys are doing great work. Well,
Thank
thanks so
you.
much for stopping
Oh,
by.
my pleasure.